We are here at Easter Jeep Safari 2025.
Heck yeah.
And we're at the Jeep concept booth, which is really cool.
Dude, they got some awesome concepts.
And if you don't know who this dude is, this is Dewie, my good friend who has the YouTube channel Colorado Mall Crawlers. If you've never watched this stuff, great trail guides.
Where's the mall, man?
Yeah, where's the mall? So check out his channel. There'll be a link in the description below. But we're gonna check out some of these concepts. Now, this one is the Convoy, and we've got a Gladiator.
Oh yeah.
And not just any old Gladiator. Check out this grill.
And what's really interesting about this right now is Jeep has been putting out surveys to Gladiator owners asking, would you consider a Gladiator front end? So this might be coming out.
I love this. This looks sick. And it's got Baja design lights for the headlights, so that's not DOT, I'm sure. But, you know, still, it's got some different fenders on it. These are pretty cool. And check out this Safari type top.
Yeah, and the doors, skinned. Well, we got these nice canvas doors. I couldn't figure out. It's just, I think it's one-offs for this show. Nice canvas top, Gladiator top.
Now this doesn't look like it folds. These are welded.
Yeah. Just going for an old school look, I think, with it. You have the Gladiator. Is this the same bed?
Yeah. Now you might be wondering about this crazy teal color in here, and it's in the cab as well. But they told us they did this because in like fighter jets and stuff, they often do that so that you can see the controls better. So makes sense.
Yes.
Like you want to make sure that you're hitting the gas pedal, not the brake pedal, I guess.
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, it's kind of an interesting concept. I'm not sure I'm a fan of seats without headrests.
I like it when you're trying to do a retro build. I think that works with a retro build, but maybe that's why they were doing it, because we've never had headrests back in the day. But I agree, like in reality, you're never going to get a Jeep without.
Yeah. But pretty cool as a concept. I love that front end. And if you notice, it's not just a bolt-on grill.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole system, so it's not something you can retrofit without changing a whole lot of stuff. So what do you think of it?
I think I like it.
Yeah. All right, let's go check out some of the other ones. Over here, we have probably Dewey's favorite, because why?
It's a two-door.
It's a two-door, right. This is called the Rewind, and it's kind of a retro beach build, which is pretty freaking cool. I mean, if you're going to Jeep Beach, this would be the vehicle to have.
I love two-door builds. I love the retro design. They got 37s on it, 37 BFG KM3s. Freaking awesome. I didn't think you could get the new seats in the two-door, but apparently you can. Yeah. That's really neat.
Well, maybe you can't.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
It is a concept vehicle.
It is true.
But other than really the look, the graphics on here, the wheel design, it basically looks like a pretty much stock
two-door. It looks
standard.
Yeah, besides the 37, so it probably has a Mopar 2-inch lift on it.
Yeah, it's got the Bilsteins on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mopar 2-inch lift and a few little goodies here.
Just showcasing some cool products
KC lights.
that they got.
I think the brass on the grill works really well with the purple.
I do too.
Purple's
not my thing, but in this concept, it looks pretty cool.
And I think one of the cool things about this particular one compared to most of the concepts they have here, it's not a 4xe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go take a look at some other ones. Next up on our tour is the Blueprint. Now, what they did is they basically color-coded all of the Mopar performance parts so you can easily see what is an aftermarket part. But these are all available from Jeep. So, what all do you notice on here?
Well, the things that stand out, definitely the two doors, the upgraded
on the other
rock
side, it's got the
rails.
mesh doors.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool.
And
these new fenders. Yeah. Let's talk about these fenders for a second.
Dude, these are freaking sweet. I kind of want these for my JL. They look factory, which is something I always like when I am trying to build what I want to build, but they seem more durable. And
they're a Highline design.
Yeah.
This piece looks stock. I hope it is, so that you could add you know, one of the aftermarket DRL kits to it, I think that would just I would go for that.
That would look really
that
good.
would look
yeah.
really sick.
With a slimline kit right there, it would be sweet.
We've got the Mopar lights that are made by Tyree. We even got a blue Warn winch.
Oh, yeah. Have you told these guys about the Tyree lights? That's such a cool story. Like,
I hope they know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you order these Mopar lights, they're made by Tyree, and there's a whole story behind Tyree lights. We're going to go into that in another video, but they're pretty amazing stuff. We got the snorkel, mirrors, wheels. These step rails that are on here, those are the same ones I have on my Gladiator. So that's kind of nice. Gives you a little extra step up.
you can order them when you're building them. They weren't available for the two-door when I was building my 2021, but you can get them for a two-door.
We got the catskin seat covers, grab handles. What do we got on top there? The mesh sunbonnet. And what they've done is on all these parts, there's a QR code. So you can just walk up, scan the QR code, and find the pricing and everything right online. I think that this is a cool idea to show off the Mopar performance parts.
Well, and two, you wouldn't even notice that the mirror, you wouldn't even know this was not a stock mirror if it wasn't blue.
Yeah. So I think they did a good job highlighting all their aftermarket parts on this one. It's kind of obnoxiously blue, but it does the job. I mean, it shows off stuff really well. But there's still more. Wow.
Dude.
I mean, wow. This is a seriously built Gladiator that they did here called Honcho.
Dude, this thing is so cool.
Could have been called Macho. It gives me kind of this Fall Guy vibe with this paint job on it.
Oh, dude, it's old school right here.
So this thing, it's got Dana 60s on it. It's got, what are these, 43s or something? Or 42, some big ass tires on it. Not a lot of like custom, concept stuff.
Yeah.
But, it just kind of shows what you can do with a Gladiator, and having these like retro steel wheels, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm just thrilled that they're still
build.
building concepts with 60s on there instead of trying to make the Dana 44 handle tires like this.
Yeah, this is more realistic.
Yeah,
if you're going to go with tires like this, you need some beef underneath. So really, I wouldn't call this so much as a concept vehicle as just
Is this
look
available?
what you can do. I don't know. I have no idea where this comes from. If you guys know in the comments where this roll bar comes from, and then is this a decked bed in here?
Yeah, it looks like
it's a drawer system. Yeah, these are really cool drawer systems.
Dude, that is cool.
I seriously thought about this for our Gladiator, but we're going a slightly different direction.
I think your direction's better. I love your Gladiator.
But there's still more. Okay, now this is one that I think is yours and my favorite, right?
This is definitely probably my favorite concept.
And I would say this is the most extreme of the concepts because of the amount of fabrication that they did on this.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what they did, and I can't really fully figure it out. I think it's still a four-door JLU, but they did new
there's
bodies.
more to that too, because the behind the tires is longer than a JLU. So, well, let's take a look. What all we got here, bud?
First off, 4XE, that's always been kind of popular in their builds lately. Like it or hate it, but it's just, it is what it is.
Plus, they probably have so many because they're not selling well. So they just.
But this is why I love this concept. It is a two-door, long wheelbase Jeep. And what does that remind you guys of?
An
the
LJ.
Legendary LJ from the
course.
TJ years.
Yeah.
And I thought Jeep could always do something like this. I might be doing something like this on my channel, but we'll,
Don't let the cat out of the bag yet.
But it's tricky. I really want to know what they did to create this. I don't think this is coming out, but
well, also look, the gas cap is way here in the back. Where on a JL, it would be over here.
But why does it have a gas cap when it's it's
a hybrid
4XE?
Yeah.
But
I wish these were real roto packs to kind of really show that. But it is a concept vehicle. But This is not plastic. That one is.
It is, yeah.
That one is plastic.
Top spot.
So it's plastic coverings over a steel frame. Yeah, there we go. There's the steel frame. Molly panels inside. That's pretty trick. You got these mini traction boards here.
I think I have a set of those for the Liberty.
So I'm digging this. Let's take a look at these fenders. You got these big cutouts over next to the vents. You got this vented on top. So these have to be really lightweight.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. You got this cool light bar on here. I wonder who makes that.
I actually am really curious of the weight because they really were trying to lighten the weight. They even put a lightweighted badge on it, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Huh.
So this thing probably doesn't weigh much at all.
So this is called the Plugout.
Yeah.
Some interesting little topo pinstriping here and there.
Dude, I think this would be so much fun to wheel.
I think if I had to vote, on which one of these should come to market, it's a tough choice between this or the Gladiator with the front end.
Or the two-door Gladiator.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be here soon.
Yeah, there's a two-door Gladiator. I don't know that I'm a fan of that. I want the extra room, but
I kind of like it.
Yeah,
but,
it's going to be personal preference. But I love what they did with the bug out.
Yeah.
I love what they did with the Convoy. I mean, the Honcho. Yeah, I mean, it's just badass.
Yeah.
You know. So, but if we can get a look at that two-door at some point, we'll add it to the video.
Oh yeah.
But I think we kind of like what they did this year.
Dude, yeah. I'd love to see. I wish they would bring some of the older concepts that they had because they've had such amazing old concepts too. And they used to bring out some of the old concepts, but these are still cool. I just kind of want to see some of the old stuff too.
Now, Dewie did do a trail ride in one of the vehicles.
I did.
What'd you take out?
A 392.
And where'd you take it?
Up Baby Lion's back.
How was that?
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Was that was a bone stock one?
Bone stock, Extreme Recon Edition.
Okay.
So it had the 35s on it, but I went up Baby Lion's back in auto, which I've never done that in one of my Jeeps. I always use 4-low to crawl up it, and it did it. Then I played around with some of the crawl control stuff that I don't have in a manual. It was cool.
It was pretty slick.
Yeah, I dream about one of those in a two-door, but in reality, the fuel carrying capability of the two-door means I will never get the experience of driving a 392. But
that's true. They do suck gas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for some people, they may think we saved the best for last, right? And for you, this is kind of the best of both worlds.
Dude, I love this thing. So I hate to say it, folks. I don't think Jeep is actually ever going to release a two-door Gladiator, but I do think they may actually build where you could build your own Gladiator.
Like a kit.
Yeah, and what's interesting, this concept has been around, but they're now branding it the J6 concept, Jeep Performance Parts. That's really interesting because they used to have a kit for the JK years called the JK8, and it was a conversion from a four-door Wrangler to a Jeep truck, and it was a two-door truck. And that means potentially this might be coming to where you can buy a four-door JLU and convert it to the Jeep truck that everybody seems to want.
Okay, so since you just mentioned that, let's talk about how they built this versus the bug out. Because the bug out seems to be an extended JLU, and this seems to be a chopped down Gladiator. That is not the case, is it? What did they actually do?
Well, we just learned, so that bug out concept that we showed you earlier was not actually a JLU. It is a Gladiator that's been converted to a two-door long wheelbase Jeep. And this is a JLU, a four-door Jeep that's been converted to a two-door truck. So it's so cool. It's just, but it's confusing. It's hard to see without actually knowing how they did it, but that's how they did it on these models.
Yeah, the extended JL is a Gladiator. The shortened Gladiator is a JLU.
Or a four-door, yeah.
So, very interesting. What else do you notice about this thing?
Well, it has a lot of performance parts on it. Potentially stuff that they could easily bring to market. And it looks very finished. That's one thing you notice too. This is very finished.
That's so clean.
I mean, it looks looks like all they have to do is stamp more of them, and
we've
there
seen
you go.
these fenders on multiple vehicles.
Yeah, these fenders.
Very stout. I'm very interested in these. Let's take a look at the back.
Is that a standard Gladiator back?
Yeah, looks like it.
That'd be really easy to do. They got Gladiator backs. They just need to build the panels. People can fabricate this themselves in their own home.
This would be a cool kit.
It would be a very cool kit.
Yeah, I like the in-bed tire there. Imagine this for the solo overlander, you know, who wants to put something like our dirt box canopy on here. It would fit perfect because it's a full Gladiator size bed. So you could put the standard canopies or bed racks or whatever in here, and you have a shorter wheelbase overland vehicle. It means it's going to be more nimble. It's going to have a better turning radius. You know, there's a lot of advantages to that. So while a two-door truck like this, not my style, I can certainly understand why people might like this.
There's a lot of solo adventurers that would love to have this.
Yeah. Got Tyree lights on it, the Mopar lights made by Tyree. This is a nice build. I like this. Okay, we got a little extra bonus here. Now, this is not one of the Jeep concept vehicles. This was actually built by Quadratec.
Yeah. So I remember when they were building this, this was a big project by Quadratec. So it has a ton of Quadratec parts on it. This is their winch line. These are their lights. But what's so cool about it, what do you guys notice about this grill? It's a YJ grill based out of a JL, and it's a two-door. That's what I love. Like they really, it was a great homage to the original Sahara units. It looks like a traditional YJ or even TJ Sahara right here. And you got to look at the interior because they changed the JL's interior.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. That is a very stereotypical YJ right there. They did an incredible job on this.
All analog.
And the fact that this was not Jeep that built this is one of the coolest things. Granted, Quadratec has been in the Jeep game for a very long time. And I've been dreaming over Quadratec catalogs since I've been 15, 16 years old. But this is a very cool Jeep, and I mean, it really does show off their products, but it's a completely custom.
I mean, to the tail lights.
Yeah, you got your bumperettes, which is normal. That's normal TJ. Well, that's YJ. TJ did have a regular bumper, but look at the lights. We're using typical TJ YJ lights right there, and the tan hardtop. I have loved this model forever. And it's cool to see it in person.
Yeah, this is definitely different. Oh, unofficial use only. That's a cool brand. They make some cool stuff.
I gotta get a picture with this. I love this thing.
Dewey's in love with this thing. I don't blame him. That is so cool. That dash is freaking amazing. That's going to wrap it up from here at the concept vehicles. We're heading over to the vendor expo, so look for that in the next video.